Welcome to Tucson Trains and Games. We decided to do a layout and share it on YouTube. The concept of this layout is based on Cato's double-wide elevated or super elevated track. The track is actually elevated on the outside rim so that when the trains go over the curve, it's slightly tilted inward. I saw this track used in Model Railroader last year, and I really wanted to do something with it. Let's get on to the track design. What I did is I have a program called AnyRails. It's a wonderful program for testing out your layouts. It essentially allows you to put a test layout together on your computer. It's good for any scale. Oh, and by the way, this is an N-scale layout, since I forgot to mention it. I was able to form this whole layout out on AnyRail and see how it worked. And it works quite well. I'm very happy with it. The AnyRail is downloadable off the internet, and their trial version allows you to put down 50 items, whether it's track or scenery or whatever. They have all the different track libraries for all the different scales in most of the companies. The only limitation is 50 items. This obviously has much more than 50 pieces of track, so I have the full-blown version. Started out with the table. The table consists of a 4x8 piece of plywood that's a 1/2 inch in diameter, or 1/2 inch thick. I guess diameter is the wrong word. And then we also have 5 2x3s, 8-foot length also. 2 of the 2x3s are on either side, and 1 is cut in half and used on either end. The other 2 are through the center. What I have underneath is 2 Stanley plastic sawhorses. They have slots in them to put 2x4s in them, so they support the table quite well. So the next step was I had to decide what base color I wanted, and I went over to Home Depot and had them mix what I wanted. Took 3 coats of paint to cover the board the way I wanted it. The board, by the way, was pre-sanded, but I sanded it even more to get a nice fine finish that I wanted. After the coats had dried, I moved my track from my other table. I had put the track all together to test to make sure it would fit properly, and before I ever did anything. That was the very first thing I did after I designed it with AnyTrack or AnyRail. So I moved the track over here, put the layout together the way I wanted, make sure there was no binding or everything. Everything worked great. I had wires strewn all over the place, held up with various items so I could run cars and make sure everything did work properly. Then I made note on the table where all the wires would hang down, and I drilled holes so the wires went through the board. Now, I should make note of that this eventually will be a DCC layout. All the switches and such will be DCC controlled through a wonderful DCC unit that I'll talk about a little later. Right now the track is analog, and I'm using a Cato power pack and Cato switch controllers to make sure everything's running. Okay, so I'll go more into what we have right now in a bit. Let's talk about the track itself some more.